previous class we had studied about Kirchhoff laws, that is Kirchhoff's junction law and Kirchhoff's loop law. Now in this class we are going to learn about electric power. What is the meaning of electric power? How this electric power is this term is regularly used in our day-to-day life. Let us have a brief look about electric power. Electric power. Let us consider a conductor whose two ends are, let it be A and the other one is B. Now this conductor is connected to the two terminals of the battery, that is positive terminal and negative terminal. As we are connected this connecting wire or a copper wire to the two terminals of the battery, automatically there is a development of uniform electric field, that is instantaneous uniform electric field throughout this, that is from positive terminal to negative terminal instantaneously. So there is a development of electric field. Now this electric field applies certain amount of force on the charges, that is charge carriers present in that of conductor. Let the force applied by this electric field be Fe. Because of this force, a charge Q, let a charge Q traveling from A to B in a time period T. Clear once again? This electric field apply a force Fe on a charge capital Q. Because of this force, that charge carriers are traveling from A to B in a time period of T. Now we are going to calculate the work done by the electric field on charge carriers. We already know that V equal to W by Q. That is, potential difference between these two is work done on unit charge, that is V equal to W by Q. That implies work done by the field W equal to V into Q. Now this is work done in a time period of T. Now we are going to calculate the work done by this cell in 1 second, that is W by T, that equal to V into Q by T. That implies W by T equal to V into Q by T. Already we know that Q by T, that is rate of flow of charge, is nothing but electric current. This can be written as W by T is equal to V into I. Here in previous classes or in lower sections we already learned that rate of doing work, nothing but its power. Here rate of doing work is nothing but electric work. So this is why it is said to be electric potential. The rate of doing work that is done by that electric field. So it is said to be electric power. W by T, that is rate of doing work, is the product of V into Q by T. We already know that Q by T, that is rate of flowing of electric charge through any cross section, is nothing but the current. So W by T equal to V into I. W by T is nothing but rate of doing electric work. That is why it is said to be electric power. In general, we know that power is nothing but rate of doing any work. So power P equal to V into I. That is the product of potential difference at the two ends of the conductor and also the amount of current flowing through that conductor. Power P equal to V into I. This equation can also be represented in another two more ways. Let us have a look at it. According to Ohm's law, V equal to I into R. Already we have power P equal to V into I. Now in this place we can substitute V as I into R. That implies power P equal to I into R into I. That equal to I square into R. So power P equal to I square into R. Next one, already we have Ohm's law. According to Ohm's law, V equal to I into R. That implies I equal to V by R. if we substitute this I equal to V by R in power P, that is P equal to V into I, that is converted into power P equal to V into I equal to V by R, that equal to V into V square by R. So power P equal to V square by R. Power P equal to V square by R. So we can clearly saw three different equations for finding the magnitude of electric power, that is power P equal to V into I, power P equal to I square into R, power P equal to V square by R. So these can be used in different situations. Now we are going to see one simple example. Suppose a bulb is rated like this, that is 60 watts and 120 volts. What is the meaning of these labels given on an electric bulb? This means if you connect this bulb to a potential difference of 120 volts source of energy, it can draw 60 joules of energy per second from that source of electricity. Clearly once again, if you connect a bulb which is labeled like this, that is 60 watts and 120 volt, if you connect this bulb to a 120 source of electricity, then it can draw a 60 joules of energy per second. That is the meaning of the labeling of these two. And also we can find the amount of resistance offered by this bulb for the flow of electricity. We can easily calculate. A bulb is rated like this, that is for P equal to 60 watts and V equal to 120 volts. Now we are going to find the amount of resistance offered by this bulb for the flow of electricity. Already we know power P equal to V square by R. That implies R equal to V square by P. So we can calculate R equal to V square. Here V equal to 120 into 120 by that P value, power P equal to 60. 61 is 60, 62 is 120. So 120 into 2 equal to 240 ohms. So it can offer a resistance of 240 ohms for the flow of electricity through it. So this is the usage of the given labeling, and also already we explained the meaning of this 60 watts and 120 volts. The unit of electric power or power is equal to watt. Unit of electric power is watt. Watt is the small unit of electric power. But what is the biggest unit of electric power is kilowatt. Generally, watt is unit of electric power. But biggest unit is kilowatt. Kilowatt is bigger unit of electric power. 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watts. 1 kilowatt equal to 1000 watts. In general, in each month or after end of the each month, electricity department gave one power bill, that is the amount of energy consumed by each and individual home or maybe industries. They are giving power bill to us. In that power bill, we are generally discussing about how many units of electricity is consumed in our house. That is called unit of electricity. 1 unit of electricity is nothing but 1 unit of electricity. 1 unit of electricity is equal to 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour. That is, this is nothing but the amount of electric energy consumed by all the appliances which are there in our home per month. That is directly calculated by the units of 1 kilowatt hour or kilowatt hours. Clearly, 1 kilowatt hour is equal to, remember, kilowatt is equal to 1000 watts and 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and each minute carries 60 seconds. So, 1000, already we know it, 1 watt equal to 1 joule per second. Joule per second into 60 into 60 equal to 3600 seconds. Seconds gets cancelled, that equal to 1000 into 36, that is 36 into 10 power 5 joules, or 3.6 into 10 power 6 joules, that is 1 kilowatt hour, that equal to 1 unit. 1 unit of electricity is equal to 1 kilowatt hour, that equal to 3.6 into 10 power 6 joules of electric energy. The electricity which is coming to our homes from the power supplying stations through the cables, they are called lines. These line wires consisting of two parallel cables. Throughout their parallel length, they are maintaining a constant potential difference of 240 volts in our India or in our state. That is 240 volts of potential difference between two parallel cables or wires. How we are, let us suppose these are the two parallel cables connecting in our home. Suppose that is the potential difference between these two wires is 240 volts. Throughout their length, this is a constant potential difference is maintaining. That is, suppose if a bulb offering a resistance of 240 ohms, a bulb offering a resistance of 240 ohms. Now we are going to calculate the amount of electric current drawn by that bulb. Okay, whenever the potential difference is 240 volts, this is fixed. What is variable? Only the resistance offered by the different bulbs. Different bulbs offer different types of electric resistance. Different bulbs or different components which are present, like fridge, TV, like fan. These are the different components. They can offer different amount of resistance. Because of the resistance only, their current consuming is varying. Now we are going to calculate the amount of current consumed by an electric bulb whose resistance is 240 volts. So we know that V equal to I into R. That implies, according to Ohm's law, V equal to I into R. That implies I equal to V by R. Now we can substitute V value and R value. We can easily get the amount of current consumed by that bulb. Already we know V, that is the potential difference across the two ends, is 240 volts, and the amount of resistance offered by the bulb is 240 ohms. That equal to 1 amp. So I equal to 1 amp in case of a bulb whose resistance is 240 ohms. Like that we can calculate the amount of current consumed by all appliances in our home if we know the resistance offered by them. Now we are going to understand what are the effects if we are using more or drawing more amount of current than allowed in our home appliances or in our home. Suppose in our home there is a maximum limit of 20 ampere current. That means our cables can withstand for a current of maximum 20 amps only. Let us have a look at this picture. This is a block diagram of different appliances which are connected in parallel connection in our home. Let a TV that is consuming a current of 6 amps, and also a fridge which is consuming 8 amps, a bulb which is consuming 2 amps, a fan which can consume 4 amps. If all these are utilizing at the same time, let us have a look at the amount of current drawn by them. That is 6 amp plus 8 amp, that is 14 amp plus 2 amp, 16 amp plus 4 amp, that is 20 amps. This is the maximum limit allotted to our home. But what now we are going to connecting, another one is heater. It can now withdraw more amount of electricity. Why? Because it offers more amount of resistance for getting more amount of heat. But our limit is already over. If we connect a heater in our regular connections, then what will happen? It will draw more amount of electricity. Because of that more amount of electricity flowing through the cable, there is occurrence of more amount of heat energy. Because of that heat energy, the cables may be burn, firing hazards may be occur. There is a occurrence of fire accident. So we are not at all being allowed to use more amount of current that is permitted to our home. If suppose we are using, what will happen? So accidentally we are using it. Then there, how can we prevent such kind of fire hazards in our homes? For that only we are using that is electric fuse. Electric fuse is a thin wire having very low melting point. Even at very low temperatures it can melt. If more amount of electricity passing through this wire, it before the melting of this wire, automatically initially this fuse wire will be melt. This is the symbol of fuse. If this fuse wire will melt, then automatically the circuit will be open circuit. There is no flowing of electricity into our home. That is why we are using fuses to save us from electric hazards. Why? Because it has very low melting point, and also a thin cable, it can melt very easily. This type of using of excess amount of electricity then permitted is called overloading. What will happen if overloading is taken place? There is a chance of electrical accidents or fire accidents. What type of devices we are using to prevent such kind of fire accidents? That is electric fuse. What are the properties of electric fuse? It has very low melting point, very thin in diameter. Now let us have a look at a simple problem. That is, they are given 3 resistors for us, whose resistance is 3 ohm, 4 ohm and 6 ohm, and they are connected in series combination in a circuit. Now what they are requiring is the total amount of resistance offered by those 3 resistors. Means if we replace a single resistance in case of all those resistors, what might be the resistance of that single resistor? Now we are going to calculate. Already we know that the resultant resistance R equivalent in series combination R1 plus R2 plus R3. Here the 3 resistors are R1 equal to 3 ohm, R2 equal to 4 ohm and R3 equal to 6 ohm. The resultant resistance R equivalent is equal to sum of the individual resistors, simply 3 plus 4 plus 6 ohms, that equal to 13 ohms. So R equivalent is equal to 13 ohms. R equivalent equal to 13 ohms. Here we can clearly analyze that the resultant resistance, that is 30 ohm, is greater than that of any individual resistance. That is 13 is greater than 3, 13 is greater than 4, 13 is greater than 6. Why? Because when the resistors are connected in series, their length will be increases. Already we know that as the length of the resistor increases, it can automatically offer more amount of resistance for the conduction of electricity. Let us have one more problem, that is 3 ohm, 4 ohm and 6 ohm resistors are connected in a parallel combination in a circuit. Then what they are asking is the resultant resistance offered by those 3 resistors. Now we are going to calculate the resultant or equivalent resistors. Already we know that in case of parallel combination, the reciprocal of resultant resistance is equal to sum of the reciprocals of individual resistance. That is 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 and so on. Now we are going to calculate R equivalent, that is 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Already we know that R1 equal to 3 ohms, R2 equal to 4 ohms and R3 equal to 6 ohms. Now we are substituting all these values. That is R equivalent, that implies R equivalent is equal to 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 6. The LCM is 12. 4 plus 3 plus 2. That equal to 7 plus 2, 9 by 12. That implies 1 by R equivalent is equal to 9 by 12. That implies R equivalent equal to 12 by 9, that equal to 3 4 that equal to 4 by 3, that equal to 1.33 and so on. R equivalent is equal to 1.33 ohms. Now here clearly we can analyze that the resultant resistance that is 1.33 is clearly less than that of any individual resistors. That is 1.3 is less than 3, 1.3 is less than 4, 1.3 is less than 6. Here what is happening, if all the resistors are connected in parallel combination, their area of cross section will be increases. Why? Because they are piled up one on another, so that their area of cross section will be increases, so that the net resistance offered by them is decreases. Let us have one more problem. A house has 3 tube lights, 2 fans and a television. Means 3 different types of appliances. Each tube light draws 40 watts, the fans draws 80 watts and the television draws 60 watts. On the average, all the tube lights are kept for 5 hours, 2 fans for 12 hours and a television for 5 hours a day. Find the cost of electric energy used in 30 days at the cost of 3 rupees per day. Now we are going to calculate the amount of bill has to be paid by the house owner per month after end of the month. Whatever might be the bill he will receive. Okay, now we are going to calculate the amount of electric energy consumed by 3 tube lights per day. We have 3 tube lights. Each tube light has wattage of 40 and each tube light is used on an average of 5 hours per day. So the total amount of energy consumed is 600 watt hours. That is the 3 tube lights consuming per day. Now we are going to calculate electric energy consumed by 2 fans per day. Now without in that house we have 2 fans. Each fan wattage is 80 watt and each fan on an average using 12 hours per day. Now the total amount of energy consumed by 2 fans is equal to 1920 watt hours. Now we are going to calculate electric energy consumed by a television. Okay, we have only one television, 1 into the wattage of the television is 60 and the time duration of that television set is 5 hours. So it can utilize energy of 300 watt hour per day. Now the total amount of electric energy consumed by all the 3 types of appliances per day is calculated by 600 watt hour by tube lights, 1920 watts by that of fans and 300 watt hour by that of television set. Total amount of energy per day is 2820 watt hour. Now this is all the appliances in 30 days, in a month of 30 days, that is 2820 into 30, we can get 86,400 watt hour per day, per month. Now we are going to convert it into unit. We know that 1 unit is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour. Now what we have is total amount of energy is in the form of watt hours only. Now we have to change it into kilowatt hour. Why? Because 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 unit. So 86,400 watt hours to convert into kilowatt hour. Now we divide this by 1000. So we get 2 zeros gets cancelled. 86.4 kilowatt hour, that equal to 86.4 units. Clearly we get the amount of electric energy utilized by all the appliances per month is equal to 86.4 units. Now we are going to calculate the electricity bill of that house in that month of 30 days. Now already they are given cost of each unit is equal to 3 rupees. How many units of electricity is consumed by that home is 86.4 unit. So we can get the electricity bill as 86.4 into 3. So the total amount of electricity bill that the owner of that house has to pay is 259.2 rupees per month. Now we successfully completed the chapter of electric current. All the best children. Thank you.